take so much for granted, like our freedoms that our forefathers fought for, died for on the battlefield, and it's not to glorify like the world or, you know, the power structures of men, but rather to see the value, the inherent value in the morality of a thing, and that if you really look at history, it all goes back to Yeshua, Jesus, and he's the only one you should fear and have such respect for, that nothing else should really matter except for what he taught, the inherent gospel message of loving your neighbor and forgiving your enemies, and not taking for granted the things that are truly significant, and including your freedoms and your rights and your faith, and also that we should love others by giving them the gospel, by telling them the truth, and not as a message of hatred or fear, but to come with them with love, to hate the sin but love the sinner. And so in this we glorify Yeshua and his teaching and what he really stood for as the Lamb of God, and that he was truly the only one without sin. And this is why he said, let the first man without sin cast the first stone at the harlot, because nobody was without sin. You have to remember that he is our perfect propitiation for sin. He's like our lawyer against the accuser, which is Satan, who accuses the saints day and night before God, and you have to remember that he's constantly tempting. It's not God that tempts, it says in the word, but it's Satan, who has but a short time on this earth, as he was allotted to basically tempt men and get us caught up in our ego and in our baser emotion and lack of spirit, and caught up in the carnal and the blood feuds, the genocides, and that have just been going on and are still going on, because some people that are so godless and caught up in the delusion without Christ's enlightenment and his forgiveness and his truth, these poor souls get lost in some dogma of another, of a lie that is basically made up by the devil to deceive them. So you have to remember, this is why Jesus said he is the truth. He is the truth, the life, and the way. And there is no other way. You can't sneak in another way. It's only by the narrow way, the straight gate. And don't be fooled and deceived, because it's said in the word that if Satan could, he would deceive even the very elect. But this is how he works. So in these end times, you need to be on guard and aware, and not concerned with much of this world anymore, because the curtains are about to be drawn on the world stage as it prepares for World War III, and the mass deception that will deceive many with the Antichrist and the beast system. And it's all being set up right now. And if people look at history, you can see, with the Bible being the most telling of what's historically going to happen.